congratulations for his speedy recovery to Dan Reeves.
Absolutely, and Coach Ron Pitts here, you know, you're a tough cookie, and you come from the old school, as we like to say.
He does.
You just hang in there and get yourself well first, and let your boys take care of the task at hand here first.
And all accounts, Dan Reeves is doing well. His biggest concern has to be his Falcon football team today. Jason Hansen will kick this one away. 22 touchbacks on the year. Tim Dwight and Elijah Williams are deep in the end zone for Atlanta to receive. San Francisco lost earlier today to New England. That, however, does not affect the Falcons' standing. They need to win the NFC West Division title. And we're underway in the Silverdome.
Nice kick.
Hansen bombs this one deep for a touchback. The Atlanta Falcons offense ranked 6th in the NFL, 5th in rushing, led by quarterback Chris Chandler. 24 straight games with a touchdown pass. The offensive line in front of Chandler: Whitfield, Calvin Collins, Tobeck, Gene Williams, and Ephraim Salam, a rookie who started each and every game. The running backs: Jamal Anderson, a Pro Bowler, Brian Kozlowski in at fullback, Tony Martin and Terrence Mathis are the receivers, O.J. Santiago the tight end. Kozlowski in for Bob Christian, injured last week at fullback. First down and 10. And Anderson takes it out to the left side. Up past the 40, up to the 42-yard line, a 22-yard pickup, the first carry of the day for Jamal Anderson.
We talked about in the open getting off to that good start. Well, here's the guy you want to try to start with. And the big question was, what was the blocking going to be like without Christian? Well, there you see Kozlowski wrapping somebody up from the start, and that enables this to happen. Jamal Anderson is a load, and he's a load that's carried this team when they've had to run the football.
The Lions defense has been porous, giving up 328 yards to San Francisco on the ground last week. First and 10 from the 43. Chandler to Jamal Anderson. He's met in the hole by Jordan. Gain of 1. Let's take a look at the Detroit Lions defense. 18th in the NFL, 23rd against the rush. The big men up front: Tracy Scroggins, Darius Holland, Luther Ellis, and Robert Porcher. The linebackers: Fredrickson and Aldridge on the outside. Richard Jordan filling in for Stephen Boyd. Fair and Westbrook the corners. Mark Carrier the veteran, and Ron Rice are the safeties. Second down and 9. Chandler's first throw of the game. Outside, he's got Tony Martin. Martin gets a first down.
Close, it's close.
Let's go down to the sidelines to Pam Oliver and explain how the communication is working for the Falcons today.
All right, thanks a lot, Ray. In Dan Reeves' absence, Chris Chandler will receive the plays as follows. Quarterbacks coach Jack Burns will call him down to offensive coordinator and running backs coach George Sefcik and Steve DeBerg. DeBerg will then relay the information into Chandler. Meantime, interim head coach and defensive coordinator Rich Brooks will monitor the defense as usual. He'll have a switch he can use to go between offense and defense as need be.
There will be a test coming up later. First and 10. Anderson picks up 3 yards.
And basically what Rich Brooks has done is he's decided to do as little as possible about this whole thing. In other words, he's going to do his job as a coordinator. He'll have a switch box, which will let him hear back and forth the offensive plays. But that man right there, Sefcik, the offensive coordinator, he'll get the plays shot down from the boot by Jack Burns, and then DeBerg will shoot him out to the helmet of Chris Chandler.
Sounds rather complicated, but they have worked it during practice, and they're comfortable with it. Second down and 6. Detroit jumps, flags come out as Chandler will be hit by Fredrickson. The ball is incomplete.
But it's not going to matter. They got everybody on the line.
Maybe a Falcon caught the football. We're going to see what they say about this as O.J. Santiago ends up with it.
Looks like they had everybody on the Lion defensive line offside.
A Our referee today is Walt Coleman.
Offsides, 94 to the defense, 5 yards, repeat second down.
That's Lutherellis, 94. And this defensive line is under a lot of fire because they have not stopped the run and played very well the last 2 weeks. It started with Jacksonville, and they got killed there. And then last week against the 49ers. And a lot of people started to question the effort, heart, and attitude of what was going on down there.
They have been decimated by injury, however. Dan Owens, a starter, out. Several other defensive linemen have missed games due to injury. 2nd and 1 as Mathis comes in motion. Jamal Anderson trying to get it outside. He cannot. Fredrickson got him in the backfield along with Terry Fair. It'll bring up a 3rd down for Atlanta.
Hey, Coach Reeves not here with the team today. We all know about that. But like we said in the open, the ship is on course. And it's up to the players, as it always is in this business, to make the thing happen. They have to go out and win this game. And it's important for them to get off to the good start. Detroit has absolutely nothing to play for right now. Atlanta has everything in the world. If they give Detroit any kind of inch of hope, it could be a long day.
Let's make it 3rd down and 2. Jamal Anderson alone back in the backfield. Santiago comes in motion. It's the toss. The stiff arm Anderson with the power will not get the 1st down. Ran out of bounds by Bailey.
They tried to spread the Lions out, and they used Santiago in the motion and really gave Jamal Anderson a naked toss, meaning he had no help. Watch Santiago coming here to get a block. Jamal, he's got nobody out there. He's got to try to beat. Looks like Scroggins on the outside. Yeah. Scroggins beat Bob Whitfield to the corner. And that's a tough block for Bob Whitfield. Scroggins sees that one. But that's a rough call there.
Scroggins may be the most athletic defensive lineman on the Detroit team. It brings up a punt as Dan Straczynski stands at his own 48-yard line.
You're definitely much better having Jamal Anderson running north and south for that down and distance and sideways.
And the Falcons down this one inside the 5-yard line, a 33-yard punt from Straczynski. And they'll mark it actually at the 6-yard line. That's where Detroit will have the football. We'll be back. The Lions offense in just a moment.
Every year at this time, folks at Southwest.
The Detroit Lions get their first crack, backed up just outside their own 5 at the 6-yard line. So Atlanta took their first shot at it, moved the ball, but then ran into it on 3rd and short and couldn't get it done. Frank Reich comes out at quarterback. Sanders and Vardell in the backfield. Barry Sanders finds a crack. Sanders up past the 20 to the 25 before William White can get him down. 19 yards on the first carry.
Yeah, and that's what I meant. Barry Sanders, 28 yards against San Francisco. Well, you know that's not Barry Sanders. He's back here at home on turf, and you know that he's going to try to do better than that. This is just a good job of blocking up front, Vardell. And he just moves Cornelius Bennett out of the hole. Not that number 20 needs it. But one guy they have to slow down today is Barry Sanders, because he has a couple big runs. The team gets jacked, the stadium gets jacked, and it's going to be hard.
And he'll take pressure off of Frank Reich as Reich, his first throw of the game. Looking up the sideline for Herman Moore, incomplete, but there is a flag. Ronnie Bradford on the coverage. And it is interference on Bradford.
Textbook offensive football. You have the big run. What do? You try to go downtown. Bradford here is going to get himself where he's behind Herman Moore. The ball's underthrown, and this year that is going to get called.
Frank Reich said that's a design play where he'll throw the ball behind Herman and try and get a defensive back stuck like that. 1st and 10 from the 44. Sanders. He'll pick up 2 on 1st down. Detroit Lions offense ranks 10th in the NFL. Charlie Batch out of this one. Frank Reich, his 19th career start. Played pretty well in mop-up duty last week against San Francisco. Up front, Roberts, Compton, Pine, Jeff Hardings, and Tony Ramirez. In the backfield, Barry Sanders and Tommy Vardell. Morton and Moore, the receivers. Walter Rasby at tight end. There's Charlie Batch. 2nd and 7 for the Lions. Reich throws it quick again.
Ooh.
Johnny Morton was not looking.
Yeah, but Ray Buchanan, the Pro Bowler, he was looking and almost had a free one.
Let's take a look at this Atlanta Falcon defense, ranked 7th in the NFL, 2nd against the run. Up front, very athletic, Chuck Smith, Shane Dronette, Travis Hall, and Lester Archambault. Linebackers, Henry Crockett, the Pro Bowler, Jesse Tuggle, and Cornelius Bennett. In the defensive backfield, Bradford and Buchanan are the corners. Eugene Robinson over from Green Bay at one safety, William White the other. As Ron Rivers checks into the game for Barry Sanders. Detroit goes to 3 wideouts.
Look at that line of scrimmage. Look at the white shirts.
Bringing pressure. It's patted down, but there is a flag.
Travis Hall.
Travis Hall got the hand up and knocked it down. 8th time this year Hall has batted up a pass. And that'll be against Detroit.
The one thing Rich Brooks knows he has to do is keep coaching the defense. This defense comes in number 2 in the NFL against the rush. He's got to let the other guys handle the offense. He's got to handle these guys because they've made an impact this year. Travis Hall, you see a little loop stunt working on the outside, just got the hand up and bats the ball down.
There was actually 2 penalties on the play. Ray Buchanan caught holding for the Falcons defense. Jim Pine caught with a hand to the face for Detroit. Offsetting, they'll replay 3rd down, 3rd and 7 for Detroit. Frank Reich brings them out of the huddle. 3 wide receivers. Make that 4 wide receivers as Rivers stays in the game. Reich to throw. The pump fake, dumps it over the middle. Brian Stabline picks up a 1st down. 18 yards on the play. Stabline, his 6th catch of the year, a big one.
You know, Ray, we played with Frank Reich in Buffalo, and we know this. When Frank has a week to prepare for you, he can be dangerous. Now, he may not have some of the physical tools that a lot of the quarterbacks have today, and he's been out there for a while, but he knows where to go with the football and knows how to execute the game plan. That was a good example of it right there.
Reich is best when throwing on the quick drops, as he did on rhythm, as Bardell takes it on 1st down up to the 35-yard line.
And that's how the game changes with Frank Reich in it. And when talking to Sylvester Kroom, the Lions offensive coordinator, he says we have to go to the more rhythm passing game. We have to think less pass on 1st, 2nd down, more run. And then we really got to try to pick our spots when we go downtown. But I do think that Frank Reich is aware that a guy like Herman Moore does need to be involved in the game more, and he will try to get it to him. The Falcons have to be aware of that also.
Barry Sanders back in the game behind 3 tight ends. Reich will throw. And he's got his man Rasby. Rasby picks up another Detroit 1st down. 11 yards on the play. Walter Rasby, his 11th catch of the year. He had 11 career receptions coming into this season.
Walter Rasby just drags all the way across the field. He's right over there on that left side. And one thing Frank Reich said was that I played with Rasby in Carolina. You know, if I'm comfortable with one guy on this team right now with the limited amount of time I've played, it's Walter Rasby. He knows me, I know him, and on that play it was evident.
The Lions stay with 3 tight ends and Barry Sanders in the backfield. Sanders to the left side. Pushes his way up near the 20-yard line. Shane Dronette at the bottom of the pile for Atlanta.
Not uncommon for the Falcons to start off a little slow as you look at Bill Kolar, the defensive line coach.
He's a fiery guy, isn't he?
Yeah, shouting out words of encouragement. Usually defensive line coaches might have a headset on and they're just kind of in the background there, and then they chew guys out when they get to the sidelines. But Kolar, he kind of works it throughout the day. But yeah, it's not unusual for the Falcons to start off a little sluggish, including Jamal Anderson, who's better in the 2nd half.
2nd and 7. Reich zips it into the tight end again. Rasby, his 2nd reception on this drive. Jesse Tuggle came up with the play.
Those are the little passes Frank Reich is going to make on you. Quick step drop, ball's out right now. And that would mean probably more zone coverages that the Falcons have to think about. Rich Brooks knows what kind of player Frank Reich is. And maybe while they were preparing for Batch all week long, now they got to look at what's going on with Frank Reich as we look at Sylvester Croom, offensive coordinator.
3rd down and 1. Sanders stays in the game with a 3 tight end formation. Berry busting outside. He's got a 1st down and more. Forced out at the 11-yard line. Ray Buchanan rode him out.
You know, as good as Berry is, he still needs blocking, and that may seem like an understatement, but on that play, David Sloan, the tight end, right over here, he's going to take Henry Crockett and turn him out. See right there, he got a little cloth, and they didn't see it, but he was able to hold the corner long enough for number 20, and you know he can scoot around the corner pretty darn well, even at his age.
With that pickup, Barry Sanders now 2nd all-time in the NFL with career total yards, surpassing Herschel Walker on the heels of Walter Payton. 1st and 10 from the 11, and Wright gets sacked by a blitzing Jesse Tuggle. 3rd sack of the year from Tuggle.
Tuggle, another great year for him, headed to the Pro Bowl again, playing that inside, and when they've decided to blitz, they've been able to make it happen. I mean, he just comes on the outside B gap. Compton misses the block. He just flat out missed him.
His feet didn't go with his body.
You know, and that's a big body. He tried to help down inside. Well, you know, they say you got to take care of your house first before you try to help somebody, and Tuggle blew right through his house.
5th consecutive year, Jesse Tuggle going to the Pro Bowl. 2nd and 17. Detroit goes to the 4 wide receiver package. Boyd and Moore at the bottom. Stabline and Morton up top, and this will be
Boyd. What a catch.
Touchdown, Detroit. 18 yards. Only the 2nd reception of the season for Tommy Boyd.
And they knew where they're going. That was Elijah Williams, the rookie, number 21. Unbelievable catch. I mean, this is just a fade route, and he underthrows it, knowing that they're either going to draw interference, but watch the way they catch this ball. He caught it on his back. Oh. Those are the kind of things that I know, you know, Coach Reeves is sitting back at home thinking, you know, please don't let those kind of things happen to us today. We talked about the slow start. I mean, those are great plays. And those are the kind of plays that can make it hard for you to win.
1st career touchdown for Tommy Boyd. Jason Hansen on to add the extra point, and he does. Frank Reich leads the Lions down to a 7-0 lead here at the Silverdome.
What were the skies like when you were young?
Over Atlanta, and it was a wonderful drive if you're a Lions fan. 11 plays, 94 yards. Frank Reich 4 of 5 on the drive for 49 yards and the touchdown, and Barry Sanders 4 carries, 31 yards. That's quintessential Lions football.
Yeah, and it started off with number 20. He did the honors, and it got everything else going. And like we said, Frank Reich is very comfortable when he's had a chance to prepare all week for the game. That's when he's at his best.
Jason Hansen hammers it into the end zone. Falcons will have it on the 20. We'll be back in a moment. Steve DeBerg on the sidelines trying to get the proper play into Chris Chandler, the quarterback.
I go back again to that first series. I'm not so sure they didn't get things crossed up a little bit. 3rd and 1, they run a toss to Jamal Anderson. Not to say that he can't get it, hasn't gotten it before, but I think I'd run him up the gut.
Anderson 5 carries and 27 yards so far in this ball game. 1st and 10 from the 20. Mathis in motion. Anderson will try the middle. He goes nowhere. Luther Ellis down at the bottom of that pile. Now, some of you may think that Atlanta clinched today with a San Francisco loss 24-21. However, it's not quite that simple yet for Atlanta. They need a win today to clinch.
They need that win, and here's why. You look at the tiebreaker scenario. They can't do it with the first one. They can't do it the second one. They can't do it the third one. They have to go all the way down to common opponents.
So if Atlanta loses twice and San Francisco wins against the Rams, the 49ers will win the division based on the common opponent's better record. Atlanta needs to get it done today.
Yeah, that's the moral of that story.
Detroit's offsides. Robert Porcher got the early start as the pass went incomplete. Chandler looking for Mathis. Second time today Detroit's been flagged for an offsides.
Yeah, and a lot of that is Chris Chandler. He's an old wily veteran, and he can make you jump. He knows how to use that voice to get you at the right times if you're not disciplined.
Offsides, 91, defense, 5 yards, repeat second down.
Robert Porcher, a Pro Bowler in '97. Not having quite the year this year as he had last season for Detroit. Second down and 2. Anderson and Kozlowski in the backfield.
Look at that 8-man front coming up there. Ron Rice trying to cheat in on Jamal.
And Rice sticks it to Kozlowski, but Anderson bumps outside, but Aldridge gets him down just shy of the 30. They'll have to measure to see if it's a first down. It looks a little short.
That's a good example of what a safety representing the 8th man can do to you. And now they had to cheat him down late, not to tip it away, because they know Chandler will check out of it. There he is there. And what his job is to find the ball. Now he takes up Kozlowski, but what he does, he creates a pileup. And everybody else did their job also. Now you got Jamal Anderson running sideways, and that's what you want. Because he doesn't have the power going sideways like he does north and south.
Don Sasa checks in on the defensive line for Detroit. They try to beef it up on 3rd and short, but Chandler gets the first down on the sneak.
You know, and if Scott Mitchell is on the sidelines watching that, he should probably take notes, because that's what being a tough quarterback is all about. You know, it's a down distance situation where you got to have it. You know, he puts his head down and he goes and he gets, and that's been a complaint a lot of that guy right there.
Scott Mitchell, the number 2 quarterback for Detroit today. They did sign a 3rd quarterback as Charlie Batch is out for the year. Chris Ditto is the number 3 quarterback inactive. Won't see action unless Detroit has dire circumstances. 1st and 10. Play action. Santiago with a reception. Up to the 36-yard line before Terry Fair gets him down. A gain of 15 for O.J. Santiago, the original Dirty Bird.
That's right, the original Dirty Bird. You know, he's been up and down. He's had some catches and then he's had some fumbles. But when you got a guy that's 6'7", along with 2 very fast wide receivers, he's a very, very attractive target. And that's almost comical there, looking at him on Jeffries 25, a cornerback who's 5'9". I mean, it should be a law against that kind of stuff.
There are no laws against that. 1st down and 10. Anderson to the right side. No gain on the play.
And Ray,
Richard Jordan shot through.
Yeah, there's a guy I know you'll be excited about, because he's taking the place of a guy you're excited about, Stephen Boyd, who's a leading tackler. But Jordan, he's a middle linebacker, and what he has to do is find the football. That's his job. He's right there. You know, he's stepping in. He's got to try to make up for those amount of tackles that Boyd gave this team.
Kevin Abrams checks in at the corner position. Terry Fair out of the ball game. 2nd down and 11. Mathis in motion. Chandler, the drop back.
Blitz.
The pressure. He gets it out. It's incomplete. Luther Ellis all over Chris Chandler.
They brought the linebackers. Aldridge came on one side. Fredrickson came inside. And now this is something that Chris Chandler has seen before. In fact, he saw it last week. Now Jamal Anderson steps up and picks him up. And that was one of the questions. You know, he said, without Bob Christian there, you know, more of the blitz pickup goes on me. Even though that wasn't his fault there.
Yeah, Luther just power rushed.
Luther Ellis just power rushed inside. But that's going to be a standing question. Can they handle the blitz without Christian there?
3rd and 11. Atlanta 1 for 2 on 3rd downs. They go with 3 wide receivers. Chandler high over the middle, incomplete. Looking for Ronnie Harris. Mark Carrier with the play. And Mark Carrier is one of the few leaders on this Detroit defense.
Yeah, he is. And this team has lost a lot of them. I was just talking to Benny Blades down in the tunnel before the game. You don't see those guys there anymore. And this team has come under a lot of criticism for that, especially this time of year when there's nothing to play for. You know, the old school Lions would come out here and still make you sore.
And Detroit so far making Atlanta sore is Straczynski. Second punt of the day, Terry Fair. Back inside his 10, chases it down at the 6-yard line. And Fair gets punished. 47-yard kick, a 4-yard return. Detroit's going to get the football.
In an effort to get people to remember our
Lions hoping Santa has something special for them. So far a 7-0 lead. The first drive for Detroit, they took it 94 yards. Well, they'll have to go 91 this time. 1st and 10 from the 9. Sanders and Bardell in the backfield. Barry Sanders. The hole closes quickly. Henry Crockett, and the ball is out, and it is recovered. Looks like Chuck Smith is all over it, and he is.
First big break for the Falcons today, and those are the kind of things that have killed the Lions all year long. That was a hit. I don't know if we're going to see any Dirty Bird action here. That was something new from Smith. Everybody's got their own little Dirty Bird version. Eugene Robinson's got the hatch, but here the ball just gets hatched out.
Henry Crockett with the hit.
He came on the outside. He made the initial hit, and then he looked like he just ripped the ball out.
So a big break for the Atlanta Falcons as they recover on the 9-yard line, 1st and goal. Atlanta's been outstanding in the red zone. Their touchdown percentage this season, 62% in the red zone. Mathis in motion. Jamal Anderson hammers the middle. Richard Jordan got him by the ankles. He gets down to the 7-yard line.
You know, nobody in the NFL seems to recover fumbles better than the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, they had 20 fumble recoveries coming into the day.
21 now.
So now it's 21. And everybody says, talking to Rich, he said, you know, everybody practices it. They do it drill-wise, but it's attitude, and it's guys who have ball awareness on your squad.
Ball skills. Bob Hallen checks into the offensive line for the Falcons, replacing Calvin Collins at left guard as Chandler looks to throw, dumps it out to Anderson. Anderson cuts inside. Touchdown, Jamal Anderson. Boy, he shook Alan Aldridge.
Here we go. Here's the dirty. Here's the dirty. I tell you, Jamal Anderson broke down Aldridge. Aldridge has got to figure, here's a guy, 240, 5'11", coming out of the swing pass. He's going to try to truck me. And what does he do? There's Jamal right there. What does he do? He jukes him. Now figure this. Scoot.
And that's the thing.
Two guys.
Anderson can do it all. I mean, he is a big, powerful guy, the thighs of an Earl Campbell, but he's got the moves of a much smaller man.
And he's really not happy with the amount of Dirty Bird variations that are going on. He says, I started it, and everybody else is a fake and a copy.
Morton Anderson adds the extra point. Anderson dances into the end zone. 7-7. 126 points off of their 36 takeaways this year, 3rd most production in the NFL.
And you come into the game at plus 11 in the giveaway takeaway ratio. That tied them for #1 in the NFC. It's no joke that the teams that get the ball in turnovers do well. The #1 guy or team they're tied with happens to be Minnesota.
Morton Anderson hits it to Terry Fair. Fair from his goal line. His timing is good. Timing with the wedge was outstanding. A 24-yard return for Terry Fair. Let's take a look at that touchdown and Jamal Anderson and the move that he makes.
And the reason that Jamal Anderson is so good, he can get low. Watch how low he gets and makes this move.
He put the brakes on.
You're talking about a guy 240, regardless of what he says he is in the meetings. And then, you know, here comes the dirty. Now, I didn't like this dirty because, you know, his sock is down. And I don't know. I think they're just getting warm. Then Gene Williams on the other side here, he's got to give him something. You know, he's got to get down there and give him a little something. I think they're tight. You know, they're happy to get that 7 points. They're a little tight yet. They got to warm up.
Sanders in motion. As the first quarter winds down, Frank Reich throws it out to Barry. He's dangerous in open field, but Barry Sanders goes nowhere as Henry Crockett wraps him up. And that is the end of the first quarter with the score Detroit 7, Atlanta 7. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. 2nd and 11. Barry Sanders behind Frank Reich. Reich throws the out to Stabline. Stabline to the 30-yard line. Let's go to our Fox Network Center in Los Angeles. It's TB Terry Bradshaw with an NFL update.
All right, Ron, thank you about Ray Bentley. Ron Pitts, look at this. Eric Bortson on a fake field goal from 7 yards out. He takes it in. Touchdown. Cowboys up early, 7-3 over Philadelphia. Ray looks pretty good. Dallas is happy. Let's send it back to the Silverdome and Ray Bentley and my man, Ron Pitts.
Oh, man.
Boy, I tell you, that man there is wild.
What happened to JB?
Ooh, I
think Terry taped him up, put him in a closet, took over.
JB's in the.
Oh boy. Ron Rivers in the ball game. 3rd down and 4. Reich pumps and goes deep for Morton. Overthrows Johnny Morton. Ronnie Bradford with tight coverage.
Jesse Tuggle on the blitz, and you know Jesse Tuggle to me, he plays hard every year, but it seems like this year he's really got it turned up a notch. Now they step down in there and pick him up, but that means the coverage outside has to hold up. Ronnie Bradford going step for step with Johnny Morton.
John Jett on to punt. Tim Dwight deep for Atlanta.
This is an exciting guy to watch.
Oh, he is. Dwight is.
You talk about the good ones around the league. Brian Mitchell and Terry Fair here is fun to watch. This guy is something else too.
Dwight takes it on the 23. He'll get up to the 26-yard line. A 47-yard punt from John Jett. A 3-yard return as Lamar Campbell gets Tim Dwight down. We're all tied up in the dome, 7-7. Falcons tied with Detroit 7-7. Atlanta looking for their first division title since way back to 1980. Ron Pitts, you were high school, I believe, back then.
That's right.
What a young man you are.
Oh, were you in your senior year in college then?
Yeah, probably was. Matheson motion Anderson on 1st and 10. Busted around a corner to the left side. Up, picks up 11 yards on 1st down. Jamal Anderson looking to become the all-time single-season rushing record holder for the Atlanta Falcons. Closing in on Gerald Riggs. Coming into today, he needs 81 yards now to pass Gerald Riggs.
And I asked him last night, does that record really mean a lot to you? And a lot of guys don't get wrapped up in that. He said, of course it does. Are you kidding? Yeah, and that's his attitude.
He wants it all.
He wants it. He wants to dominate. And that's what he does. And the team feels that.
1st and 10 from the 37. Play action.
Oh, sweet play.
Harold Green with the reception. Green stays alive, crosses midfield. Harold Green tiptoes his way inside the Detroit 40-yard line.
Nice play action there. Great call.
28 yards for number 28, Harold Green.
You know, on 2nd down, after a big run, you got to be expecting another dose of Jamal Anderson. Well, they come with the action in the back. A quick toss, very West Coast-like out to Green. And this is just bad tackling. You know, here, that's one miss. Westbrook doesn't use his arms. And this is what happens to you in this league.
Another missed tackle.
And really, by all means, right, and by all means, Harold Green should be able to keep tight roping down that sideline.
Kozlowski back in at fullback as Jamal Anderson takes it up, rips off another 11 yards.
The one reservation that Jamal had was following Kozlowski. You know, not that he doesn't like him as a blocker, but he said the communication was just so good with Bob Christian. I knew where he was going. I knew how to read off his blocks. Well, he's got another rear end there he's got to kind of follow off of. And that's a counter. He goes the opposite direction. But it's an adjustment. And when you're Jamal Anderson and the offensive line is used to your running style, it's hard not to be successful.
11 carries, 53 yards on the day for Jamal Anderson. His 12th carry, cuts it back. Finds a seam up inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. Mike Chalinsky and Alan Aldridge make the tackle.
And then there's another thing. See, Jamal Anderson has got what we call, you know, the big men skills. He can cut here full speed and then come all the way back. Most guys with that kind of weight on them can't do that. A nice pull block there. Calvin Collins, 68, Look at him, big 68 coming across here, getting a little face. A pancake there by O.J. Santiago. Once again, the problem for the Detroit Lions, too many guys getting blocked.
Terry Fair is out of this ball game in the Detroit secondary, an injured right shoulder. Don't know if he'll be back or not. Kevin Abrams filling in for him. 2nd down and 3. 2 tight ends for the Falcons. Anderson slams his way up close to the 15-yard line.
You turn on the game film the last 2 weeks of the Lions defense, and it's a hat on a hat. Nobody got off blocks. And in fact, San Francisco, just talking to some of the people in the Lions organization last week, as we look at Terry Fair, the rookie on the sideline there, talking to some of the people in the organization last week in San Francisco, was just flat out embarrassing. I mean, it was borderline quitting.
And a problem for the Lions, injuries, as their leading tackler, Stephen Boyd, out of this one, has shoulder problems, probably will be scoped next week. That means Richard Jordan fills in for him. Kerwin Waldrop out of the lineup. They are beat up in the defensive front 7 for Detroit, as the first down will have to come on the next play. It'll be about a yard, a little under a yard short. It'll be 3rd and 1 for Atlanta. And this is where you look for Jamal Anderson. On 3rd and 1s this season, he has made a first down 11 of 12 tries. There's Rich Brooks. Rich Brooks just kind of laid back.
That's what's good about Brooksy. You know, he never really gets that meter above a certain level, no matter what.
He doesn't redline it.
I don't know if he yellow lines it.
3rd and 1. Anderson gets the first down.
And that's what you do. You don't run a toss to Jamal Anderson with 3rd and 1. And not in this game. They've saved that stuff for preseason when you're experimenting. George Substick there, making the call. You know, it's still a lot of things going on, I think, in one aspect, but then from another, it's just football. It's just business. And you can't, and that's one thing that Coach Reeves wanted to make sure this team didn't do, was to let his situation be too much of a distraction, especially now. And it's going to be a distraction, but this is a veteran team, and they had to focus.
1st and 10, Chandler with pressure on from Porsche. Stays alive, but he'll lose a couple. Robert Porsche with the pressure.
That's a great job, a great effort by Chandler just to get 7 yards to get back up the field. Porsche comes off the corner here. He jumps inside. Salam was expecting some help, I guess, from the tight end, didn't get it, and he causes all the drama in the back.
Ron Rice covers up Chandler. Chris Chandler has been sacked 42 times this year. 2nd and 12. Anderson and Kozlowski in the backfield. Martin at the bottom, Mathis at the top. Chandler with a pump fake. Goes it in the end zone, broken up, looking for Tony Martin.
Well, you saw the way Chandler kind of reloaded there. He didn't see what he wanted right away, pull the trigger back, and I think that extra second was the difference between the Lions breaking that ball up. And this is coming right at you here. You see the officials got a duck. Westbrook got a little of that hand on the back. He's waiting for this guy to get out of the window. Well, that's a tough one there.
Ryan Westbrook. His play has improved dramatically over the course of the season. Harold Green checks into the backfield with Jamal Anderson on 3rd and long. Throwing the fade to the end zone, almost caught. Martin can't hang on. Westbrook again with good tight coverage.
Tony Martin screaming for the interference. Just straight bump and run. We saw the fade route earlier. Frank Reich threw it. Oh, yeah. He's Tony Martin's got a case. He's got a legitimate case.
Get him by the collar.
He does not need to serve papers for that one.
And Morton Anderson comes on to attempt the 34-yard field goal. Should he make it, he'll become the 2nd kicker in NFL history with 400 field goals, and he is now. Gary Anderson, the only other kicker with over 400. Morton Anderson drills it from 34, and the Atlanta Falcons jump ahead of Detroit 10-7 in the second quarter. Falcons take a 10-7 lead over Detroit. A 10-play, 58-yard drive, a 34-yard field goal from Morton Anderson. And Anderson will kick this one deep. Tommy Boyd back to receive as Terry Fair out with an injury. And this will be Boyd from the 4. And Tommy Boyd hits a seam all the way up to the 29-yard line. A 25-yard return before Craig Sauer can wrap him up. Detroit will have good field position when we come back. They trail Atlanta 10-7.
Santa Cruz, yeah.
Oh, well, forgive me.
Hey, you got to explain to the folks back at Grand Rapids when you get out.
Yeah, I think they understand.
Yeah, I hope so.
First and 10. Barry Sanders cuts it back. Oh, he is drilled. Henry Crockett with another big hit. He's been all over it.
When is the last time you saw a flush-up shot like that on Barry Sanders?
Not often. Maybe back when we played.
Yeah, maybe you, huh? Henry Crockett here. Now, he can run, and he's got a bad attitude when he gets to the ball. And you can't underestimate a guy's ability to find the ball as a linebacker, and that's what he has to do. You know, you talk about Barry's feet. Well, what his feet didn't see were number 94 standing in the hole, getting ready to blast him.
Second down and 6 for the Detroit Lions. 2 tight ends in the ball game. Morton in motion. Sanders cuts it back. Gets by Buchanan on the outside. Robinson pushes him out. It'll be another Lions first down. Let's go out to the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles. Another guy with shifty feet, JB.
Ray and Ron, I finally broke out of the closet. Terry locked me in. Take a look at Plummer. Hey, jumping out of the closet there, Sammy Knight. He picks him off. Rubidoux High, USC. He returns it 39 yards to pay dirt. 9th defensive return for a touchdown by the Saints. They're on top 7-3. Playoffs hanging in the balance. Back to Ray and Ron.
He must have saw Barry do that spin move, and then Knight trying to do that spin move. That was unbelievable.
Excellent move. Barry Sanders, 7 carries, 41 yards in the first half. They throw it out to David Sloan, does Frank Reich. Sloan picks up 8 yards.
And you know, this defense, Atlanta Falcons, they've got great speed. They got veterans. They got great discipline. They had everybody in the position you need to have them. Guys in the cutback, guy outside. Woo. But you know, Barry can make you sell out. He can make you commit right there. You know, the guy takes 2 steps full speed like that. He sells you certain moves, and you have to buy them. Whether you got enough money or not, you got to buy them. And then he makes you look like an idiot, and your jockstrap is laying 10 feet away.
Second down and 3. Sanders off to the left side. Crockett's got him again, but not until Sanders gets a first down.
Barry Sanders has probably come out this year and been more vocal than he's ever been. And it comes down to one thing. He's got a ton of yards. He's been to a ton of Pro Bowls, has a ton of awards, but the team can't win.
They actually marked that short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and short. Well, they went back to the old tapes and
groin pull.
I've got the groin pull. I still suffer from that a little bit, and you with the toe.
No tackles, though.
I almost got him one time, and that's a true story.
Hey, he put a move on you guys under Buffalo. I think I was gone. You know, the one he did a spin around in the backfield, and Biscuit almost had him.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? That was unbelievable.
Him and Talley kind of hit the same time, and Barry did the spin. And
yeah, somebody threw him down, and he did a spin, yeah.
And it is about a foot short. I want to say hello to our spotter, Kimball Bergman, here alongside today. A wonderful human being.
Who doesn't talk when he eats.
It's the only time he does not talk.
We have to feed him more.
3rd down and 1 for the Detroit Lions. They bring in those 3 tight ends. Detroit 2 of 3 on 3rd downs. Corey Schlesinger in front of Vardell in the backfield. And Frank Reich trying to root hog his way, but I think they're going to mark him short. Looked like he may have even fumbled the snap. It looked like he was bobbling it down on the ground.
That's 4th down. He didn't get it.
The Falcons certainly think so, and then our referee Walt Coleman agrees. He's got the fist up in the air. 4th down.
You know, the whole key to this is he's got to get low. Well, he never got low, and like you said, he tried to root hog in there.
He never got
the football. And if he doesn't have the football, now he can't get down there and root hog and get that extra yard.
It still appeared, though, he was up on the 50-yard line stripe and hadn't been touched by a Falcon yet. A questionable spot, perhaps.
I think the refs saw those root hog moves.
Yeah, you got to get the root hog in there once in a while. John Jett kicking deep to Tim Dwight. Dwight, fair catch on the 9-yard line. A 43-yard punt from John Jett. Atlanta has the football.
This is a
stand. Detroit had to punt it away. Atlanta's football on their own 9-yard line.
And that defensive line, you know, you look at them and you can't really find one guy that would just like blow you away and really scare you to death, but they play great as a unit. And they've got a bunch of hard effort guys.
Kozlowski readjusts in the I formation. Anderson behind him on 1st and 10. And this will be Jamal Anderson. The penetration from Sasa stops him momentarily. And he's finished off by Jordan. On Sunday, January 10th, Eddie Murphy returns to TV with a wild new look and a bold new attitude. From the mind and mouth of Eddie Murphy comes the PJs. Series preview Sunday, January 10th on Fox. Second down and 11.
Mike Chilinsky just checked in. Robert Porcher checked out.
3 backups in that front line. Spindler, Chilinsky, and Sasa for Detroit. And Anderson bowls over Westbrook. Just 2 yards shy of the first down. Ron Rice ended up getting Anderson down, but boy, he lit up Bryant Westbrook. We're going to take a listen to this. Cover your ears if you're faint of heart.
You know, you could just see and just feel Ron Rice kind of melt. You know, it's like, Westbrook kind of melt.
I think Rice did too.
Oh,
the power of Jamal Anderson.
Those are the kind of shots that make your tonsils hurt.
3rd down and 2 for Atlanta. Tim Dwight goes in motion. Incomplete. Tony Martin never saw the football.
Yeah, so Tony Martin wasn't ready.
Falcons will have to punt. We'll punt it out to the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles. JB with an NFL update.
Ray and Ron, take a look at this stout New Orleans defense. Cardinals look to be going in for the score. Frank Sanders fumbles after that hard hit. Saints holding a 4-point lead. Hey, Ray and Ron, tell Pam stay away from those root hogs. No good.
You got that right. Well, Pam wanted to know what a root hog was, and I don't know if we satisfied her curiosity yet, but we'll try to get into that as we go. Brian Stabline back to receive the punt with Dan Straczynski. Straczynski hangs it high, forces the fair catch from Stabline at the 42-yard line. A 41-yard punt from Dan Straczynski. And the Lions will have good field position, trailing 10-7 here in the second quarter. Dan Reeves at home, not at this game, so the Falcons have done some shuffling, and they have Harold Richardson, who is the general manager of the team, and he is also part of that hookup on the headsets, and he is in charge of handling the penalties and riding the officials.
Right, he serves as Rich Brooks's voice down on the field in case a debate would come up or a situation where a call would have to be made and conferred with the officials.
Barry Sanders picks up 5 on first down. Chuck Smith gets him by the ankles.
And you know, that's a lot of different people in different positions on the field. I guess you'd say, or just different positions, period. And that's okay. None of this will be a problem until one thing happens and you start losing. That's when the drama starts. Now, this is a veteran team, and I wouldn't expect panic, but they won't have Coach Reeves in at halftime to make that speech. And this halftime speech for this particular game is a very important one.
Second down and 5, 3 tight ends for the Lions. Barry Sanders tries the right side. Punts it back to the left. Sanders close to the first down. He'll be a yard shy. Chuck Smith heading by the ankles again.
Shane Dronette has just got to be scratching his head because he's got Barry Sanders lined up. He's doing everything that the coaches in practice told him to do. He'll be right here. Just watch 75. Now he gets cut, gets up, and he figures, all right, I got him. Whoop. No, you don't.
Another third down for the Detroit Lions. 3rd and 2. Sanders stays in the game. 2 tight ends at the bottom. Moore and Morton up top. David Sloan goes early. However, there's a lot of pointing. If Atlanta moved to draw Sloan off sides, that's the flinch rule. It'll be on Atlanta.
Right. They're trying to claim the encroachment rule. Boy,
now you get your huddle.
We talk about instant replay and all that and the time it might take, and that's what people who don't want it say, but this is a nice little huddle here.
Yeah, you get it anyway with the huddle and the conference by the officials.
They ought to just replay it on the Jumbotron up here, and they can all look up at it and decide.
We have a neutral zone infraction on the defense. The nose tackle is in the neutral zone, causing the tight end to move. 5 yards, first down.
Good call by you, Ron.
That's part of the new rule there. Shane Dronette, or it could have been Travis Hall. The rule is if you move into that neutral zone, causing one of the offensive players to move, then the foul is on you. It's a form of encroachment. A year ago, they would not call that. They would warn the defender, go ahead and penalize the offense.
But David Sloan wasn't even looking in there. I don't think that drew him off sides. As Schlesinger tries to hurdle into the middle, he'll pick up 2, but you have to be drawn off. I don't think Sloan even saw the movement.
I mean, he's on the other side of the line of scrimmage. He's not directly across from it.
Nonetheless, our officials say penalty against Atlanta, and on first down, Detroit picks up a couple. As we close towards the 2-minute warning, that may well have been the last play before our 2-minute warning. And indeed it will be. So the Detroit Lions move it into Atlanta territory. They trail 10-7. Highlights from around the league. Get your up-to-minute stats with the Fox Sports ticker. Find out how the playoff situation looks. All coming up on the Visa halftime report.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions took a shot downtown here. They haven't done it in a while.
2nd and 8 for Detroit. Sanders the lone back, play action. And Reich will look downtown, but this will be intercepted, I believe.
It's a simultaneous catch.
They're going to say Detroit hangs on to it. Walter Rasby fighting with Eugene Robinson. Rasby comes up with it.
If it's a simultaneous catch, the rule is the ball will go to the offense. Rasby doing a little jaw jack in there. Nice coverage on the play.
Well, it looked like it hit Robinson right in the chest first off.
It did.
Very good call. That's as simultaneous as it gets. 1st and 10. Sanders tries the middle. Tuggle says no.
Schlesinger tried to root hog Jesse Tuggle up out of there, and he got root hogged.
And Detroit will take a timeout. Talking about Jesse Tuggle, a Pro Bowler for the 5th straight time. He talked this week about how they keep their focus without Coach Dan Reeves.
Dan has went through a life-threatening situation. It's safe to say now that he's doing very well. But at this particular time in the season, what we all have at stake, particularly this week trying to win the NFC West, I don't think Dan would want it any other way but to try to stay as focused as possible, to go out there and try to accomplish, what we started, and that's to win the NFC West and finish the season off.
Yeah, and that's absolutely right, because you know what? The Atlanta Falcons have gone through a lot of bad times for a long time. You have to go all the way back to '80 for their last divisional title. And it's been a hard road and a lot of criticisms. And you talk about coming too far to stop now. It means no more to anybody but the Atlanta Falcons right now.
Well, Jesse Tuggle has been there through a lot of those hard times as Barry Sanders finds a big seam up the middle up to the 20-yard line. William White gets him down. White, a former Detroit Lion. The Lions on the move late in the first half.
Yeah,
2 timeouts left for Detroit, a minute left.
And this is a crucial time for the Falcons. They're up by 3, but they need to go in up. They don't need to go in down.
Sanders again, a huge hole. Barry, another 11 yards. Cornelius Bennett drags him down.
And those are just straight inside plays. Those are man-on-man plays. You know, they're matching their fullback, their guards, their center. Look at the shot there. Woo! Now that time, Schlesinger came back and got the best of Jesse Tuggle.
13 carries.
And he put him on his back that time.
73 yards for Barry this first half.
You know, a ground attack happens because somebody wins. And that time, Schlesinger won. And it's all about the low man. You know that, Ray Bentley. You've been inside there.
The low man usually wins those battles.
Hey, the coach can't help you now. When it's on, it's on.
Bend them knees. Career rushing attempts. Barry Sanders, second all-time in NFL history, surpassing Marcus Allen. Barry Sanders, 13 for 73. He's sitting on 99 touchdowns. If he gets one today, he'll be just the 6th player in NFL history to score 100 rushing touchdowns in his career.
Tuggle's still not feeling too good there after that hit.
First and goal from the 9. Play action. Rasby, his 3rd grab of the day. Rasby fights his way close to the goal line to be a yard short. Bowling over Falcons on his way.
That looked like William White was the first man there. What a call, though. You see that? You know, the fake handoff to Barry Sanders and then roll out the backside. Now, you know Frank Reich, or you suspect he's not going to take off and run with the ball. But that's just a good call. Delivers the ball. Then a great effort by Rasby. He runs one guy over and almost punches it in.
Lions use their final timeout. 32 seconds left. Sitting at the Falcon 2-yard line.
Interesting what Frank Reich said about the defensive coordinators in the league now. You know, we all came into the game together in '85, and you know, all this time, 14 years in the business, he said defensive coordinators are better. They scheme specifically now to take away what you do best. They're reading those computer sheets. You know, they know how to take away what you can do and how you can hurt them.
Here's the club Barry Sanders could join, the Century Club, for touchdowns scored. Wow, that's quite a group you got up there. And Emmitt Smith looking to become the all-time touchdown leader. Detroit goes 2nd and goal from the 2.
Well, this is hairy for them now because they've got no timeouts.
Frank Reich throws it in the end zone. Herman Moore, touchdown.
In the pregame show, Howie Long said, "Free Herman Moore." And what he meant by that was get him the ball, get it to him early, and put it up where he can catch it. And well, they got their own little dance going on. The criticism all year long around here is that Herman Moore hasn't been thrown the ball up the field. And part of it is warranted, part of it's not. They've been rolling coverages and staying on top of Herman Moore. But you see Frank Reich, the old veteran, you know, he's not just trying to learn the offense like Charlie Batch is. He knows where the impact players are and how to get the ball to them.
First catch of the day, Herman Moore's 5th touchdown of the season. His 4th in the last 4 weeks as Hansen adds the extra point, and with 29 seconds left in the first half, Detroit takes a 14-10 lead over Atlanta.
And everybody talks about his height, 6'4", 6'5", whatever you want to call it, working on Bradford. A little short, but Bradford's a veteran. You know, he just pushes off him just enough separation, and he's right. Bradford is right, but they're not going to call that. Bradford has got to know and be aware to keep himself out of that situation, know when Herman Moore is going to try to use that push-off move. And what a comeback he's had. I mean, he was hurt, missed the Tampa Bay game out with a quad injury. First time in 5 years. And after that, he came back and really turned it on.
That he has. 20 receptions and 345 yards and 3 touchdowns in the last 3 games coming into today's action. 1 catch, 2 yards, 1 touchdown today.
I don't know what this dance is called, but that's kind of nice. Hey, what is that, like the dead bird dance?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a one-armed bird.
You know, that is the dead bird dance. And then they shot him and then stomped him.
Stomp on him. 9-play, 57-yard drive for Detroit. Capped off Frank Reich, his second touchdown pass of the day, a 2-yarder to Herman Moore. And Hansen will kick it deep into the end zone. And here comes Tim Dwight, 7 yards deep. He takes it anyway. Dwight gets up to the 23-yard line, a 30-yard return. Well, let's play Danny Terrio and compare the dancing today.
Well, like I said, Jamal, the Falcons, they're not warmed up here. You know, the sock is down, and he's happy. He's getting his groove on and all that. But you need more enthusiasm. You know, you need Gene Williams to come over.
Smiling,
right. You need Gene Williams to come over and give him a little dab, do something. Okay, now here's the dead bird. A little more enthusiasm. You see Johnny Morton's into it. That's the key. You got to know where your help is.
Yeah, and then stomp on him when you're done.
Right.
That's very good. We give the dancing lead to Detroit. They also have the lead on the field, 14-10, as Chris Chandler downs it. Final play of the first half.
And this is key here. Rich Brooks going in down at halftime, and they've been there before. He's got to say something important to his team.
That's the end of the first half. The score, Detroit 14, Atlanta 10. Stick around, the halftime show up next. Abrams steps up, a number 2 pick from last year. He's playing in fair spot, and they have done fairly well. Have the Lions pass defense, holding Chris Chandler to just 61 yards throwing the ball in the first half. And they'll run Anderson on 1st and 10. Picks his way outside up to the 38-yard line.
And what you haven't seen are the Falcons' 2 downtown receivers, Tony Martin and Terrence Mathis. And a lot of that is because, as I was talking earlier, the Falcons want to win this game, easiest possible way.
That's right.
And that's to run the football, throw only when they have to, and get out of here.
2nd down and 7. Mathis and Martin to the top of your screen. Kozlowski and Anderson in split backs. The blitz comes.
Ball's out.
Ball is. Yeah, they're going to say that the whistle was blown before the snap. Old Coleman.
Prior to the snap, false start, 69 offense, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
It's Gene Williams.
Gene Williams.
Interesting series now for Atlanta because Detroit comes out and Atlanta's defense shuts them down, turns the ball over. Right here.
Yeah,
a little step.
Little footstep there.
And that's one of those penalties where he might get a game ball for that because that saves another turnover.
2nd and 12. Chandler throws the inside to Martin. Martin makes the grab. 1st down for the Falcons. Pick up of 13.
And Chandler's down, and you got a flag down as well.
Chris Chandler has had a history of injury, and he looks a little woozy. Robert Porcher drove him into the ground.
You know, that is a costly penalty for the Lions defense, but could be an even more costly penalty for the Atlanta Falcons.
91 of the defense roughing the passer. 15 yards, 1st down.
And that's where you have to let up.
You know, and Porcher's wrong. The ball's out.
You can't
man's arm's on the ground. Not only can you not hit him after that, you definitely can't take him and throw him to the ground. Porcher knows better than that. I don't know if it's last home game excitement or whatever, but that's the toughness of Chris Chandler. And you look at DeBerg, if Chandler has to go out, DeBerg has to take the headset off, put his helmet on, and come in.
Chris Chandler, one of Howie Long's tough guys in the pregame show, shows you that toughness and stays in and hands it to Jamal Anderson. But Richard Jordan locks him up. Richard Jordan has been all over the field for this Lions defense.
Yeah, at halftime, only one other guy, or I should say all the other players on the Lion defense only had 1 tackle. And it's kind of the same thing as last week. Nobody else is making the tackles outside the middle linebacker.
Richard Jordan started 1 game this season against Tampa Bay, had 12 tackles, had 9 tackles against San Francisco in relief last week. He's got 6 on the afternoon as it is 2nd and 8 for Detroit.
A little bear lead
for Atlanta.
A little 46 bear defense by Detroit.
Chandler on Porsche. Porsche gets him legitimately this time. 10th sack of the year for Robert Porsche.
You saw the Lions gave a 46 bear look. They do that every now and then. Linebacker over the tight end, but the heat's going to come on this side. Nobody's there. Nobody takes care of that backside. That's a breakdown. That is protection breakdown. And it begs the question, does that have anything to do with a guy like Bob Christian not being in there? He's an integral part of the protection scheme.
Bob Christian, the fullback, blew his knee out for the year. Harold Green in that spot right now. 3rd and 18. The blitz comes. Chandler gets it away. Incomplete.
Well, that's a questionable intentional grounding there.
Luther Ellis had a hold of Chandler. You're right. Very
I don't know about that one. George Jamison, number 58. Ellis working inside. He was getting the pressure. Ellis right here, 58 right there. He just comes free. I don't know. That's an intentional grounding in my book. I didn't see a Falcon out there. You know, he's inside. As long as he's inside that tight end to tight end box, he can't throw that ball away just to avoid a sack.
I think the hand got hit from Porsche and really knocked that thing out a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, just give him a little slack.
Yeah.
You know? Mark Carrier down on the field for Detroit.
But the bottom line is the Detroit Lions answer on the first series coming back from halftime, being ahead by 4 points. And you know where you have to think back, if the Lions don't have that turnover in their own territory, it's very easily a 14-3 game in favor of the Lions.
And I think Detroit has controlled the tempo of this ball game.
Yeah, but that's not good right there. You talked earlier about the leaders, the old school guys, the tough guys on this team. Now, he may not be the old school guy from this team, but he's definitely a tough guy and a leader.
Mark Carrier came into this nicked up, tore the plantar fascia in his foot. Straczynski punts it deep to Brian Stabline. Stabline, fair catch on his own 12-yard line. A 33-yard punt from Straczynski. Detroit starts backed up again. Yard line, 1st and 10. Barry Sanders in the backfield. Play action from Frank Reich. Wanted Herman Moore. Moore was covered up. Reich will run it out. He'll gain a couple yards before Travis Hall gets him.
That was not a pretty scramble. But he wanted to go into play action down here to Herman Moore. And now Bradford knows that he's got to stay on top of Herman Moore. You got the size, and the best way to keep from getting in that position where you get out jumped and get pushed off is to stay on top of him. And this is what I meant by the ugly scramble.
It is ugly, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, what kind of slide is that?
We've seen that slide before.
You're out with that slide.
That's a Frank Reich
yes,
slide.
It is. 2nd and 7 from the 16. Barry Sanders dodges one man. Now he's got it outside. Falcons pursuit. Gets Barry down, led by Cornelius Bennett.
You know, you wonder how long Barry Sanders can do it by himself before he's had enough. Like we said earlier, Barry's been more vocal this year than ever about the fact that the records don't mean anything, the yards don't mean anything, because we can't win. And this team, time after time, has not, as we look at Barry Sanders come out, this team has not developed the team around the impact guys like Barry Sanders.
3rd and 5. Detroit 2 of 5 on 3rd down conversions. Rivers and Sloan in the game. Frank Reich runs out of time and uses his first time out of the second half. It'll be 3rd and 5 for Detroit. We'll be back with that in a moment.
Left, Barry Sanders on the right. I still don't get why you take Barry Sanders, who's out of the game right now, out on the most important down of the game, 3rd down. You do the defensive coordinator a huge favor when you do that. I know Brooks right now has a big sigh of relief. The fact that number 20 is on the bench.
Brooks and the linebackers who may have to cover Barry Sanders. 3rd and 5. Sloan spread out. 3 wide receivers in with him as Boyd goes in motion. Frank Reich over the middle. Incomplete, but there is a flag down. It looks like Tommy Boyd was interfered with. Keith Brooking, the linebacker, had the coverage. Indeed, interference on Keith Brooking. Rookie #1 pick out of Georgia Tech.
Pass interference, 56 of the defense. Automatic first down.
Brooking got a little anxious there. You know, he's been actually playing some pretty good football, but that's what happens when you make a mistake. You have a seat on the pine.
You get big on little, and it's tough in there. So it is a first down for Detroit, and Barry Sanders will give it a go. Pickup of 3 yards on first down for Sanders. Archambault and Bennett on the tackle.
You know, Lester Archambault, a lot of people thought that he should have had a Pro Bowl bid. You look at some of the guys across that defensive line, and they've definitely got some good players, and they play well as a unit. But with 10 sacks, you know, many people in Atlanta thought that Lester Archambault, including Rich Brooks, thought that Lester Archambault got a straight out and out Pro Bowl snub.
Archambault with 10 sacks, 7 forced fumbles on the year. 2nd and 7. Run the counter to Sanders. Sanders tripped up in the backfield, stumbles his way for a gain of 1. Chuck Smith shot through there and got the ankle.
And that's how you make the plays on Barry Sanders. If your front four can't penetrate, you're not going to be able to do well against Barry Sanders, because you got to be able to get in there and make him make the first move. And now your help has to plug the holes, and they do. But it all starts with initial penetration, and that's one thing this defense has done well this year. Every guy knows where he fits. He gets there with a bad attitude, and they make plays. And there are a bunch of veterans. You don't see a lot of busts.
3rd and 8 for Detroit.
I don't know if he got that off before Hardings or Compton moved. I think so.
I think somebody's got a timeout. And Detroit takes their 2nd timeout in this drive.
Those could come back to haunt them.
We'll take a timeout as well. Detroit 3rd and 8. We'll be back in a moment.
Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. And by the Motor Trend Truck of the Year, the new Chevy Silverado. It's the truck.
Let's take a listen to Frank Reich as he scrambled to try and get that play off. Had to use the 2nd timeout. Reich, the veteran quarterback, got it before the play clock ran out. Detroit comes out 3rd down and 8. Rivers in the backfield. Reich with time, looking over the middle. He's got wide open Herman Moore with a first down up to the 43-yard line. A gain of 20.
It's clear who the Pro Bowl corner is and who the Pro Bowl corner isn't. Now, I think Ronnie Bradford, you know, even though he's been in and out, has had a pretty deep year, but they know where they want to get this ball to, and it's more to do with Herman Moore than anything else. That's just a deep in run. He shook him. You see off the cut, he got him off the cut. You know, and this is what people here in Detroit have been complaining about all year long. Where is Herman Moore in the offense?
First down and 10. Sanders back in the ball game. Reich looking deep for Herman Moore down the sidelines. A struggle for the ball, incomplete.
I tell you something that Ronnie Bradford did very good. He got a little nudge down the field on that pump and go that just threw Herman off stride, maybe 1 step right there. You see that? He didn't hold it just enough, and that takes a step away from Herman Moore. And if you think he had that step, I think he would have caught the ball right there. That's just a smart football play. Yeah, you say, is it interference? If an official's there and he wants to call it, he probably could. But I think they're just playing football.
And a nice toss from Frank Reich, who is putting together some nice numbers today. And the flag comes out before the play goes.
Did you see that all?
Prior to the snap, full start, 75 offense, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
That's how
Ramirez, but
yeah, that's how you know when your defense is in tune and in focus.
They knew what was coming.
Right, when all 9 guys know and point that the guy on the offense moved. That means they're all keyed in and watching what's going on. Watch all the white shirts point. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys pointing.
2nd and 15 for Detroit. Tommy Boyd, the lone wide receiver. 3 tight ends in the ball game. Barry Sanders tries the right side. Sanders up to the 47-yard line. Brought down by William White. 9-yard gain for Barry Sanders.
Even when you have your lanes and your pursuit angles right, Barry Sanders can burn you. And if you watch his eyes, Barry seems to find the cutbacks before they're there. You know, his eyes come back before he's even made that move. All the good running backs not only have blocking like this, but they have great feet and they have great vision.
And Sanders comes out of the ball game. Rivers checks back in on another 3rd down and 6 to go for Detroit. Rivers on the draw with a wide open hole. Rivers sprinting out to the outside deep into Falcon territory to the 37-yard line.
Another huge hole. It goes back to the passing. If you're able to push the ball downfield, it opens up everything else right over here. The defense really has no idea what to expect. You got 3 people downfield in coverage just on that left side alone. And that's the difference. You know, whether it's Barry Sanders, whether it's Ron Rivers, you push that ball up the field, you can come back and have freedom to do a lot of different things running it. That's what they mean by, you know, passing game ties into the running game and vice versa.
Sanders back in, 2 tight ends to the right. Reich pumps and looks for Herman Moore deep. Herman Moore can't hang on to it. Had it in his hands. Ronnie Bradford was beaten by a step.
Yeah, they're trying to put jelly on Ronnie Bradford. I mean, that's clear. And that ball looked like it just slipped right through Herman Moore's chest. Watch the pump fake. And that's for Ronnie Bradford, who's looking in the backfield, that pump fake. He arm bars him again and makes it just tough enough for Herman Moore to go up and get this ball. Herman Moore, I've seen Herman Moore catch that ball.
Herman Moore catches a breather as Tommy Boyd checks in on 2nd down and 10. Barry Sanders off to the left side, comes into a wall of Falcon defenders. Time of possession has been a key for these Atlanta Falcons. They lead the NFL in time of possession. 12-0 when winning that battle, 0-2 when they lose it.
Yeah, but look at the Lions' drive. I think on this time of possession, we get that up later because they seem to hold this ball a long time.
5 minutes and 25 seconds on this drive. Detroit with the time advantage in the game. Third down and 9. Reich changing the play at the line. Falcons blitz. Right to Tommy Boyd. He throws it behind him. Boyd with the reception. Working on Michael Booker. Boyd, a 19-yard pickup.
The word on Michael Booker has always been he's got the great speed. He's physical. But can he turn his hips? Can he do the subtle things that a cornerback has to do? And that's a tough route. I don't care who you are. That's great coverage. That ball is intentionally underthrown. You know, this was the answer to defensive backs like Deion Sanders that could run. You know, throw the stop fade route. Let the receiver locate the ball, come back in time, and make the catch before the defensive back can react.
12th play of the drive for the Lions. Sanders is going to be caught in the backfield. Couldn't get outside.
And that's just great speed there.
William White and John Burrow combined.
And then the key is when you got your defensive linemen running across the field to make tackles, that is when you're playing great defense. That's when you come in number 2 in the NFL against the rush. William White is there. And then Andre Crockett, once again, you know, they think that they can later on put Andre Crockett inside. And he can be an inside linebacker. All I know is that guy's got a great motor.
He does. Chuck Smith checks out of the lineup. Antonio Edwards in at right defensive end for Atlanta.
Okay.
2nd and 13. And they run right at him. And Barry, look out for him in there. He is tracked down by John Burroughs and Cornelius Bennett.
When you play Barry Sanders, you can never say that you didn't have a chance to tackle him, because he gives all 9 or 10, 11 guys a chance to touch him. And when you have a defense like Atlanta, they're so fast pursuing to the ball initially, cutbacks are good. this is why you have to swarm around the ball carrier.
John Burrow playing in relief has a couple of tackles on Sanders in this set of downs. 3rd down and 11. And again, Detroit.
Prior to the snap, false start, 77, offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Mike Compton. That's the second false start on the Lions in this drive.
That's a good example of things that keep you bad. You know, Detroit comes in this game 5-9, and you ask what's wrong. Is it the quarterback? Is it injuries? Well, it's stuff like that. Great drive going. We just showed that down the red zone, got the run going, and then you got to get a guy that moves off sides.
3rd and 16. Rivers in the backfield. Reich to throw. Dumps it to Herman Moore over the middle. Herman Moore shy of the 1st down up to the 12-yard line. Devin Bush on the tackle, a gain of 10.
Cornelius Bennett in on the play, had a little spike action there.
And Jason Hansen will come on to attempt a field goal.
And that goes back to the penalty. You know, that gain right there might have been enough for the 1st down without being pushed back to 5 yards before.
Jason Hansen, 27 of 31 in field goals this season, will attempt a 30-yarder to pad Detroit's lead. And Hansen splits the uprights, and Detroit, with 1:43 left in the 3rd quarter, take a 7-point lead over Atlanta. The Detroit Lions on a 15-play drive had their lead 17-10. Ate up 8 minutes and 54 seconds off the clock. That man, Jason Hansen, with a 30-yard field goal on the day. Barry Sanders, 21 carries, 86 yards.
And that was a huge drive by Detroit. 8 minutes, 54 seconds. And what it did was it put Jamal Anderson and the offense off the field for that long.
Hansen set to kick it deep. Tim Dwight and Elijah Williams at their own goal line. Tim Dwight from 3 yards deep. And he is fearless running through the middle. Tim Dwight, they got him at the ankles. He goes to the 35, a 37-yard return. Kevin Abrams saved the big play. Coming up next Saturday, it's a Fox NFL special when rookie sensation Randy Moss leads the high-flying Minnesota Vikings into Tennessee to battle with the Oilers. Coverage begins Saturday at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, right here on Fox. The Minnesota Marvel, Randy Moss.
Yeah, he's exciting.
Only rookie selected to the Pro Bowl, and there's his team, the Marshall Thundering Herd. They'll play in the Motor City Bowl against Louisville here on Wednesday. 1st down and 10 for the Falcons. They've been on the bench a long time. And they loosen it up. Mathis, his first grab of the day, up to the 49-yard line. Let's go to the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles. JB with an NFL update.
Ray and Ron, the battle to get to the postseason continues in Arizona. Take a look at Adrian Morrell. Goes right, comes back left. Look at that block by Jake, the snake plumber. 21 yards to pay dirt. Arizona now back on top. 13-10 late in the 3rd. Back to Ray and Ron.
Reggie Brown on the sidelines. Almost a year ago today, he had that terrible accident against the New York Jets. That was December 28th of 1997. Reggie has made an unbelievable recovery. Jamal Anderson recovering, coming back, picking up and staying alive, getting up 9-10 yards, and now the flag comes in late. As Jamal Anderson continues to roll people over when he gets into that defensive secondary.
You know, he's got a little of that Herschel Walker or Bo Jackson in him, in the sense that he can get big on you right before you get ready to tackle him. He has a way of expanding. It leads to things like face mask penalties.
Grab what you can.
And getting down by the shoestrings and making those tackles. And he
face
makes...
mask, defense, 5 yards, 1st down.
And he makes no bones about it. He enjoys trucking you. and likes to talk about it. Now, how many guys wrap up there? 2 guys didn't wrap up initially.
Alan Aldridge got the face mask.
See, those 2 guys didn't even bother to wrap up. They figured they'd save their collarbone. And right in there was a face mask.
And Greg Jeffries on that tackle. He is in for the injured Mark Carrier at the free safety spot. 1st and 10, Mathis in motion. Jamal Anderson, the battering ram. Starts his way past the 30-yard line. Ron Rice threw him down. Another big gain for Jamal Anderson.
You know, he's got holes. I mean, watch the blocking up in here. Well, maybe he didn't have a hole. I think he made his hole. And he can do that too.
And Rice kind of jumped out of the way and threw him down. I mean, that's trying to live to play another down. 2nd down and 1, and the quarter will run out before the Falcons can give it a shot. And that will be the end of the 3rd quarter. The score, Detroit 17, Atlanta 10. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a word from your local Fox station. Score by quarters, Detroit leading 17-10. Bob Christian had knee surgery this week, lost for the year. Showed up and decided to wear his helmet anyway.
That's hardcore. That is hardcore. We ought to have him on a Fox Sports Net hardcore football show just for that. Show up hurt, on crutches, but you know what? Keep your helmet on as long as you're on the football field.
You gotta love that. Kozlowski in for him at fullback. 2nd down and 1. This is Anderson time. And Jamal gets the 1st down. Yeah, the mark could beg to differ with my call. They're going to take the time to measure this one. It's at the 37-yard line, 27-yard line of Detroit. And the Falcons have been a 4th quarter football team, outscoring their opponents 117-58 in the 4th quarter this year, and it was enough for a 1st down. Thank you very much. Ron Pitts, tell me about this.
Well, you know, Jamal Anderson did the motion capture for John Madden 1998 football, and all the figures you see running there, those are actually him.
They hooked him up with electrodes.
They hooked him up to electrodes, and they did it, you know, computerized. So every guy you see running the football is him. Now that was really him running against the Detroit Lions. And of course you see the way he ran a couple guys over.
Play action. Chandler looking to the end zone. He's got Terrence Mathis. Touchdown Atlanta.
Terrence Mathis again. All right, now what version of the bird are we going to see? This is the receiver version. No, that's just a straight spike.
Oh, he'll get to it.
Terrence Mathis came up big last week against the Saints. 2 big touchdown pass plays. Even though he was a little sick to his stomach, he made the Saints secondary sick to their stomach, and now he's making the Lions secondary sick. And you look at Terrence Mathis, and I think he's gotten bigger. And I don't mean bigger like size, I mean just like more physical, and he's stronger. And that had nothing to do with strength there. He just outruns Jeffrey to the corner. It looked like they had a coverage mix-up.
The extra point from Morton Anderson is good. Chandler hooks up with Terrence Mathis, a 27-yard touchdown, and we are all tied up 17-17, 14:22 left in the game. Up a 5-play, 65-yard drive, capped off a 27-yard touchdown pass. Chandler to Mathis. Morton Anderson hits this one to Tommy Boyd. Boyd from the 2. Boyd lit up again by Ruffin Hamilton at the 25.
Boyd's got to stop running so high through traffic like that.
23-yard return for Tommy Boyd. And the Detroit Lions have it from their own 25. We'll be back in a moment.
Here's us Bears.
It's good to see for a guy like Terrence Mathis. Spent a lot of years in Atlanta there in some lean times. Finally getting the advantage of the good times.
Right. His first pass of the series intercepted by the Atlanta Falcons. Ray Buchanan, his 8th of the year, tying a personal best set back in '94.
And there's the beginning of the Lion meltdown.
Excuse me, that's William White with the interception.
Huge play by the Falcons.
Second interception of the year for William White.
More working inside. You see William White. He just sneaked it. So what they did, they got tired of Herman Moore running the in routes, the dig routes. So what they did is they told him to be the robber. You come down and steal the first thing inside, and he stole it.
1st and 10 for the Falcons. Their second takeaway of the ball game. Mathis in motion. Anderson off the left side. Stays alive. Stays alive again. All the way inside the 20 to the 19. A late hit.
Oh, that was uncalled for, too. If it was indeed a late hit on call. Looks like Calvin Collins, 68.
Come down and clean up the pile.
Did you see how low Jamal Anderson got there, though?
Another conference by our officiating crew today. Done a pretty decent job.
That's a 15er there, personal foul.
And it'll be marked from the spot of the infraction.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 68, the offense, 15 yards, still first down.
Big Calvin Collins.
Now you talk about Jamal getting low. That was incredible. He didn't go down, but here,
boy, he launched Greg Jeffries.
That's in that gray area there, I guess. I don't know. But the moral of that is do not stand around piles in the NFL because you will get cleaned up.
And that's the hard way to learn that lesson.
I learned that lesson a few times.
Jeffries was airborne. Jamal Anderson, 22 carries, 104 yards on the afternoon. Goes over 100 for the 11th time this year, a Falcon record. Chandler wants it all again. Oh, Jeffries had a chance to pick it off, couldn't hang on to it, looking for Tony Martin.
And there was actually some interference down the field. They went on the hitch and go, and someone collided with Tony Martin. Tony Martin's right out here. Now he's working right there on Abrams.
Contact.
That's illegal contact because it happens outside the 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. They don't call it. It saves the touchdown, and Jeffries has got to catch this ball. That's how you make up face for getting burned for a touchdown.
2nd and 18. Chandler outside to Kozlowski. Kozlowski up past the 30-yard line. Fredrickson drags him down. Chandler, a season and a career high, over 3,000 yards. First time he's ever done that. He's in the Pro Bowl for the 2nd consecutive year, and rightly so.
And that's 2 passes, and the reason why that penalty 15-yarder that pushed you back, Atlanta's going to try to fight to get back within at least field goal range. Now you're looking at a big 3rd and 12.
17:01 for Jamal Anderson on the season. 3rd down and 13. 3 wide receivers. Harold Green and Anderson in the backfield. Flags down.
Looked like Chandler pulled out before the ball came.
False
Prior
start.
to the snap, false start, number 12 of the offense.
You're right.
5 yards.
Good call by you, Ron. Hits the quarterback went early. You don't see that often.
Yeah. And if the Falcons don't get points on this drive, it'll be because of Calvin Collins' penalty. You know, they went from being in scoring range, 6-point range, and not even being able to get after that penalty in field goal range. It would be a very long field goal.
Falcons just 2 of 7 on 3rd down today. They face a long one. 3rd and 17. The Lions fans begin to roar. This play will be stopped again.
The clock got him.
Ran out of time. Well, I'm getting a false start from the umpire.
That clock was awful close.
Prior to the snap, False start, 69 offense, 5 yards, still third down.
Gene Williams, and the meltdown for the Falcons continues in this drive.
A complete and total meltdown. They were in a position to really put the first nail on Detroit. And now they're in a position where they can't even get in field goal range.
They'll need a big play to do so. 3rd and 22. Last week, the Falcons had a series where they had 3 consecutive penalties. 4 in the drive. They've got 3 in this drive. Chandler throws it outside, incomplete. Mathis can't hang on to it.
Boy, the meltdown was pretty much spread throughout the whole offense. What was that, 3 penalties? It starts with the 15-yarder, and then it ends with a mistake there. Terrence Mathis got to catch that ball. He's just going to run a stop route. And the thing about it, he's got separation. He might be able to race to the corner of the marker.
Ball got him quick.
Terry Fair back in, giving him plenty of room.
Dan Straczynski.
No points and a punt.
Will punt it. Looking for the coffin corner.
Oh, this one's going to be trouble.
Oh, just over the hands of Elijah Williams. A 40-yard punt. 20-yard net. Detroit will take it from their own 20, but there is a flag on the play. Man downfield early on Atlanta. Detroit will decline the penalty.
Downfield early on the kicking team, number 56. A penalty is declined. First down.
12:44 left in the 4th quarter. Atlanta comes up with nothing on the turnover. Detroit will have the ball.
He can talk to the offense, and you can see the way he hit it. He hit it hard and then crunched his lips up. That is the gambit of emotion you will see from Rich Brooks.
Boy, he let it all hang out there. First down and 10 for Detroit. Barry Sanders up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
The Falcons on offense need to get back to throwing that ball. The Lions have some injuries in the secondary, and on that drive, before the drive series, before they proved they can sting them. You know, running the football is conservative. It's nice, and it'll keep them right where they're at. Tied 17-17 with the Lions in the 4th quarter. Shot clock runs down. They got to throw that ball more.
Sanders with 93 yards on the day, but that total will go down as Travis Hall hits him for a loss.
Boy, and Barry Sanders getting up real slow.
And we haven't seen many negative yard carries for Barry Sanders today.
And that's just another good example, I think, of the defensive line of the Falcons playing well. I mean, it may be the best all-around defensive line in the NFL. Hall just beats Hardings across his face. Play side across your face. Isn't that supposed to be a cardinal sin, Ray Bentley?
Yes, it is.
Like
Boy, you don't do that. Yeah. Not and survive for very long. Loss of 3 on the play. 3rd down and 6 for Detroit. Frank Reich.
He beat him again.
And the ball comes out. No, incomplete pass. The arm was going forward.
Travis Hall beat him again. This time he came around the outside. You know, he thought that one of the things that he could do to Hardings was head fakes. Now right here. Gave a little head fake inside maybe, but he just beat him on a swim move outside. You know, that's 2 huge plays by one guy. And that's what makes this defensive line so good. Funny talking about Travis Hall, you know, he did the blonde hair thing.
Yeah.
Said my wife really didn't like it at first. She hated it. But you know, now she's starting to like it.
Came home orange the first time he tried it.
Yeah, they didn't leave it in long enough.
John Jett to Tim Dwight. Dwight with a fair catch at the 43-yard line. Atlanta even up with Detroit. Excellent field position.
Pressure on that last series. 2 times coming from one man, Travis Hall.
Chris Chandler takes him out. He is 8 of 16 for 122 yards and 2 touchdowns on the day. 1st and 10 Atlanta. Play action to Jamal Anderson. Anderson stays alive, picks up a yard.
This is why I say what I say. It's time to take your shots downtown on the line. You did it with Mathis, and you got paid for it. Running the ball is good enough to keep you in the game, and unless Jamal can break a big one, they'll keep you right where you're at, tied up. Because if you try to pass later on, if you get behind, now the disadvantage is that everybody in the line secondary is expecting it. Hit them when they're not expecting it.
Second down and 9. Chandler to throw. Looking outside, hooks up with Tony Martin for a first down.
There's a good example of it right there, working on Abram. He's playing off. Abrams has been burned. Early in the year, he was a starter. Look at that cushion he's giving up. He's got no help out there, and you can tell. You got to take advantage of that.
Abrams in the game because Terry Fair went down with a shoulder injury in the first half. Down and 10 in Detroit territory at the 45. Jamal Anderson finds it tough sledding off to the left side. He'll pick up 3 yards.
Well, those are 4 tough ones right there. You know, on the flip side, Ray, of what I'm talking about throwing the ball like they did to Tony Martin there is, hey, this is a very emotional game right now. It's been an emotional week. Your head coach goes down, has to have heart surgery. It happens to be on the week where you can wrap up the first divisional title since 1980. And the last thing you want to do, come out here throwing, trying to win too soon and have this game get away from you. So there's 2 schools of thought there.
Second down and 6. 3 wide receivers in the mix for the Falcons. Detroit brings the blitz. And they'll hook up again, the same pattern. Martin, another first down, working on Terry Fair this time.
Yep,
Fair comes in for the nickel stuff.
Fair, he's a little banged up. That's a bad matchup right about now. He's playing off. He's got some help inside. You can see him leaning to the outside there. Maybe he's got his eyes in the backfield just a little too much. They bring Fredrickson in, and there's Jamal Anderson. He stepped up and picked him up. Jamal said, I wasn't really sure of all the protection and blitz pickups, but somehow, some way, I'll step in there and make it happen.
He did on that as it's first down and 10 for the Falcons. Jamal Anderson with the run. Nothing going up the middle. Richard Jordan and Fredrickson there again.
And if you're one of the Lions on defense in that huddle, you might turn to that corner over there and say, watch for the out and up. You've thrown 2 outs. You got to think they're setting you up for the pump and go. But this is the area of the field where Chandler is best, where the team is best, approaching the red zone.
Second down and 10 from the Lions 33.
Look at that cushion over there.
Kozlowski in motion. Chandler zips it to him on an out route. Fredrickson slams him out of bounds at the Detroit 27.
What a week it's been for Brian Kozlowski. Yeah, he's the tight end. Christian goes down. He's got to now move to fullback. You know, it's not just the blocking part of it. He's got to learn to catch the ball like that from a whole nother perspective, coming out of the backfield, running different routes.
Kozlowski goes down. Harold Green checks in at fullback. Third down and 3. 3 wide receivers in the game for Chris Chandler. When the blitz comes again, and Jamal Anderson dodges that blitz, and he's wide open in the middle of the field.
Wow.
Stumbles his way into almost to the end zone, just shy of a touchdown. What a run from Jamal Anderson, and he has set the Atlanta Falcon season rushing record with that run.
That may be the run that wins the NFC West title for the Atlanta Falcons. And I know it's early and there's time left, but just because he made so many things happen at a crucial time, and it got him across that void, it got him out of the red zone and down to the goal line.
Oh, he tried to stretch her over, couldn't quite get it. 26 carries, 135 yards on the day for that man, Jamal Anderson.
The Lions came with the run blitz, and they punctured it.
And Anderson hit in the backfield by Sassi. He stays alive. Touchdown. Wow. Birdie time.
Wow, birdie time. And you know why he made that happen? Number one, Sasa's got to wrap up. And we talked about Jamal Anderson being able to get yourself big before impact. But you see how low he got, and he's got to be sucking some air. He attributes his conditioning to a lot, and I believe it. Dan Reeves run the gassers, the up-downs.
Up-downs. You don't see
the old Green Bays. Yeah, that's old
guys
school.
Doing up-downs.
Yeah, they complain about it. They don't like to do them. Well, you know what? They're glad they do them now. That man's breathing a little bit easier.
Morton Anderson splits the uprights, caps it off, and the Atlanta Falcons, a fourth quarter team, show you that. 24-17, they take the lead over the Detroit Lions.
Yes, with a Pro Bowler. Watch 53 Fredrickson. He's going to get on the backside, but watch Sasa, 98.
He's got it.
All he's got to do is wrap up. He wraps up and he makes the play. And look how low he gets there. I mean, Abrams got down there by the seams in the carpet. I mean, I don't think it was Zamboni machine couldn't have got any lower than that.
No.
That was unbelievable.
Pam Oliver wondered what root hog was earlier on. Here it is.
Yeah, I'm going to show you both parts of it. Here's the root part, and now he just hogs you all into the end zone.
Jamal Anderson, 5 carries, 32 yards on that drive.
And this is the confidence I'm talking about. He makes no bones about it. And I guess when your dad is the security guy for all the stars like Sugar Ray Leonard and Muhammad Ali and all the entertainers, you've been around the big time and you know what it's all about. And they have a saying in the NFL, you know, the game is too big for some guys. Well, I don't think the game is too big for Jamal Anderson.
Jamal Anderson will make you miss the tackle. He's forced 20 misses and he's thrown down 4 stiff arms. Morton Anderson kicks it off. Tommy Boyd from the 2. And Michael Booker lights up Tommy Boyd. A lot of running around, but it's all for naught as the play was ruled dead. 17-yard return for Tommy Boyd. Well, we saw the dirty bird earlier from Jamal Anderson. Didn't receive that high of marks. Is he warmed up now?
Yeah, I think so. See, he had the little hop going there and just the flexibility. Yeah, he's got more energy into it.
Yeah,
and
you can
Salam
feel it.
came over and shouted something. Yeah, see, there you go. They're
much
into
better.
it now. That's much better.
Much better.
It's a dirty bird, boy, I tell you. A fan yelled down from the stands one day, a Falcon's nothing but a dirty bird, and that's where the phrase started.
Detroit's trying to get back into it with 6:46 left. They give it to their own version of the dirty bird, Barry Sanders. And he gets up to the 20-yard line. There is a penalty on the play. Barry gains 2. Ronnie Bradford ran him out.
It's funny, you look at the score and you say to yourself, well, okay, big though, you know, you're up by 7 and there's still time and a lot can happen. But the way the game is gone and the way both teams have played, that's actually up by more than 7.
Offense, 10 yards, still first down.
And there you saw Harold Richardson, as we said earlier, who is that official's advisor down there on the field. He said take him back, and they took him back.
And Harold is a football man, was an assistant coach with Dan Reeves in Denver.
But he's a GM. He might be breaking new ground for GMs.
Yeah, the more you can do. You've heard that before. Become a valuable member one way or another.
Hey,
First and 19.
He can draw up contracts and come down and help officiate too.
Herman Moore can't hang on to it. Again, Bradford with tight coverage.
How many passes has Bradford seen today guarding Herman Moore? I guarantee you there's a yellow highlight mark on the game plan with Bradford's name on it, because they have gone after him.
Snuck the hand in there and knocked it away.
You know, part of the way you keep from getting out jumped is to know when the jump is coming. And if you keep a guy in front of you, you can time it up better like Bradford did.
3 grabs on the day for Herman Moore as Barry Sanders runs the draw. Hit from behind.
Boy, look at the
Chuck
ref.
Smith got him.
Our official got killed down here, too. Boy, did he get run over.
It's dangerous out there. It's our umpire, Garth DeFelice, who got rocked.
Garth got crushed.
He doesn't look too happy about it either. He's a little ornery. That'll bring up a 3rd and 15 for Detroit from their own 13-yard line. Spread them out with 3 wide receivers. Reich back to throw. Looking outside for Herman Moore. Moore can't hang on to it.
And that shows you the ineptness of the Detroit Lion offense. Unless you have the big run by Barry or the pass interference, they can't push the ball up the field.
John Jett will stand in his end zone to receive the punt snap. Tim Dwight deep to receive.
And I also might mention that's also shows you the good play by the Atlanta Falcons defense.
And Jett high and short. Dwight with a fair catch in Detroit territory at the 48-yard line. If Atlanta can hang on to this lead, they will win their first division title since 1980. 1980, well, what was going on? It was the year of miracles. Jimmy Carter, the president, that was a miracle considered by some. The U.S. Olympic hockey team won the gold. Mount St. Helens blew up. Chariots of Fire, which you can hear in the background, and then Ron Pitts, Christopher Cross singing your favorite song, Sailing.
It was a good year. Sure the folks down in Atlanta appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I know they appreciate that man, Dan Reeves, and you want to get well. If Falcon victory will be a step in that direction. 1st and 10 from the 48, Jamal Anderson. This is Anderson time. Hammers his way for 6 yards on 1st down. Richard Jordan got him.
Yeah, it's really Anderson time. And, you know, they pumped it to him, and finally he broke the big run when they needed the big run. Like I said, you can't fault the game plan. They started to throw a little bit more in there right after we talked about it to loosen things up. But ultimately, it came down to players making plays. And that's what it's going to come down to. Should they hang on here, get a win, and advance into the playoffs? The impact guys have to make the impact plays.
2nd down and 4. This is where the Falcons will just hammer at you with Jamal Anderson. And they'll do it again on a draw. And Anderson picks up a 1st down at the 36-yard line. Corshey and Jeffries combined for the tackle. Today's game is being produced by Pete Macheska and directed by Michael Frank. The associate director is Barry Landis. The broadcast associate is Eric Billigmeyer, Big E. The technical producer is Dean Walker. The technical director, Rick Tugman. Our audio mixer is Paul Kelly. The studio was produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. The associate director is Jennifer Love. Senior producer of Fox Sports, Bill Brown. The executive producers, Ed Gorn and David Hill. Our spotter, Kimball Bergman. Our stat man, Rudy Cleveter. Wonderful job by all of those people. 1st down and 10 for Atlanta. They'll grind it out again. Anderson tries the left side. Detroit was ready for him that time. Alan Aldridge and Mark Spindler combined for the stop.
Yeah, Detroit now reduced down to doing only one thing. All they can do, run blitz, bring your safety down, lock your corners up man-to-man, hope they can stand up when the team passes on you. They've got to make the plays. They've got to get off the field if they want any hope of tying this game up.
Detroit with just 1 timeout left. They had to burn 2 in the 3rd quarter on 1 drive. That could come into play later as Detroit trails just by 1 score, but Atlanta is on the march. 2nd and 11 from the Detroit 37. Blitz comes again. Spindler went early. And Chandler will get sacked, but it'll be offsides, I believe, on Detroit.
Well, I didn't see any flag, though. Unless I'm blind.
Well, if you're blind, so am I, because I saw Mark Spindler definitely jump early.
I definitely saw him go.
And now Detroit will use that timeout.
And Ronnie Rice timed that thing up beautifully.
All right.
Spindler, watch this. Unless he didn't get in.
He was way in. There's no excuse for missing that.
I mean, he looked like he was in. Ron Rice jumps up and just jumps all over Chris Chandler.
He tried to jump over Jamal Anderson.
Jamal Anderson having to pick up this blitz. He's trying to get out of the way of Chandler first. He's thinking, oh, well, that's an obvious flag. But you can't quit on the play.
So give Ron Rice the sack. As Detroit is out of timeouts, Atlanta has all 3 remaining.
But Ray, I agree with you. He definitely looked like he was in that neutral zone when the ball was snapped. Now Harold Richardson has to really work. He's got to get in that guy's shorts and say, hey, wait a minute. You missed the play.
3rd and 16. 3 wide receivers, Harold Green and Jamal Anderson in the backfield. Detroit brings a linebacker. And they'll sack him again. Robert Porcher, his 2nd, 3rd sack of the day. 12 on the year for Porcher.
The blitz pays off. Chandler should know about it. He saw a dose of it last week against the Saints. Fredrickson comes, and really it's just Porcher beating around the outside. Looked like he beat. He beat the tackle on that left side.
Boy, if Chandler had had time, Fair blew by Abrams. Or, I'm sorry, Martin blew by Abrams. Straczynski on to punt it away. High hanging kick.
Wow.
It'll be down inside the 5-yard line. Keith Brooking with a special teams play, a 43-yard kick from Straczynski. And Detroit will have to go 96 yards to get back into this game.
Ronnie Harris just got blasted there. But that's great coverage. Brooking getting up, showing a little vertical.
And that's dangerous. That ball could have hit Campbell. He was laid out.
And that's one thing that Dan Straczynski has been able to do. 2nd in the NFL coming into this game in fair catches, but hang time. He's able to launch that ball, get his coverage team down there, and down the punt.
No timeouts. The 2-minute warning coming up. Detroit has to go 96. And they'll go with number 20. Barry Sanders gets 1 of those yards. As Ronnie Bradford
and this goes back, Ray, to those 2 timeouts they had to burn early in the half on 1 drive. And they don't have anything to work with now to stop the clock except getting out of bounds. He didn't get out of bounds.
No, Johnny Morton didn't go out of bounds. He does get a first down, but it does get us down to our 2-minute warning. With the score, Atlanta 24, Detroit 17.
They all came in a van.
Yeah, and they're here to support me. You got to love it. That's right. We drove the Griswold down here.
The Griswolds. Cornelius Bennett was teasing you about that last
He
night.
was. 1st and 10, and Sanders does not make the reception from Frank Reich, low and away. It does stop the clock with 1:48 left, and Frank Reich has got a few comebacks under his belt. In fact, the largest in NFL history, 32 points down in a playoff game against Houston in '92. So he knows how to bring a team back.
Yeah, but I think he needs a mistake or a pass interference to help him on this one. He didn't have any timeouts.
2nd down and 10.
It's called sugaring the line of scrimmage, getting everybody up there, making them pick. Confusion on the offensive line. Look at the corner.
And the blitz is on, and Reich throws an interception. This is Eugene Robinson.
Oh, we're going to see some Bird now. We're going to see some Bird now.
4th interception of the year.
Here comes the hatch. This is the hatch.
Frank Reich has a problem with Robinson's bird.
Well, he threw it. He threw the egg.
That
he shouldn't worry about it.
And Eugene wants to get back at Frank.
You know, Frank can't worry about that. Hey, you know, a lot of people get mad about celebrating and everything. That's part of the game. That's what makes it so great in my mind. As long as you're winning. Yeah, I'm not for celebrating when you're down. When you played like the Atlanta Falcons have played this year, you can do any kind of dance, jiggle, anything you want to.
So Chris Chandler will come on with Detroit with no timeouts left. All he has to do is down it a couple of times, and the Falcons will win their first NFC West Division title since 1980, and the celebration is on the Falcons sideline.
And I know the celebration is on down in Atlanta, especially for one man in general, and that's Coach Dan Reeves. And you know, Ray, the difference in this team is that they got a healthy quarterback, and then they got two wideouts that can sting people down the field, a legit deep threat on both sides of the field. Something they haven't had in a while in a conventional offense. And I think this is also a tribute to the discipline and hard work that Dan Reeves has put into this staff, into this organization, and they love him for it.
At the conclusion of our game, we'll send you down to Dallas as the Dallas Cowboys have a 13-9 lead over the Philadelphia Eagles. If Dallas wins, they can clinch a division title as well. I think this Atlanta football team has a great shot to do something in the playoffs and shock the world. They'll be at home and they'll have a bye in the first round.
Yeah, for all those reasons I just talked about. And the question is now, who's going to get the Gatorade shot?
Well,
Brooks is upstairs.
Yeah. You know, they tried to get Bill Kolar.
Yeah, Brooks is on his way down, I guess.
Chuck Smith happy with the hat. And there's the Christmas wish list. And it will be a nice Christmas in Atlanta for the Atlanta Falcons. Let's go down to the sidelines. Our Pam Oliver down there.